in India, we sort of beat ourselves up. Look at the Americans. They are rebooting Batman like from ever. We've got a
It's
new
been 40
Superman
years.
out. Anyway, people talk about adaptations, right? I
Yeah.
hear this so often. Oh, why can't you do original? First of all, there's nothing original under the sun.
Finally, we can talk about Gandhi. Has gotten selected to be shown at TIFF for the very first time.
So for us, season 1 of Gandhi is a young adult drama. It's an 18-year-old boy going to London and his life from there.
Are you dabbling with microdramas or AI?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think it means anything. First of all, if the
Yeah.
technology comes along and if it's in everyone's hand, it's like saying that, there are paint brushes and paints available. Does that make everyone a painter? What it is going to do, however,
Were you also excited about doing a show with Pankaj Tripathi? Or was it the story that then lent itself to having him as a protagonist?
Amitabh Bachchan in and as Don.
Absolutely.
Pankaj Tripathi, in and as Mother.
Mother
Mishra.
Mishra.
You know?
Will applause make movies? It's
good.
nice to come to your office. Thank you for inviting us.
Not at all. Thank
and
you
the
so
reason,
much.
of course, is because Applause, has completed 8 years. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Wow.
It's been quite the ride.
Yeah.
It's been quite the ride.
Yeah.
And it's been a fun ride though.
Yeah.
Because I think from where we started to where we reached is, in large part for various, there's many things that have gone into making it.
Of course.
Starting, I call it the 4 Ps of our life, which is first our patron, Mr. Birla, and the other Birla group, which allows all this to happen.
Of course.
And, I sort of set the spark.
Going,
and then we move on from there and, we really we have passion, which is very important in our life of,
100%.
telling stories and, helping storytellers and, really working with talent. We have purpose, which is also our group's philosophy and ours, that whatever we do must have some sense of purpose.
100%.
There must be some meaning, some point of doing this.
Correct.
So whether it is creating a platform to help creators or whether it is sort of attracting capital towards the business of content creation or just telling great stories that
correct.
need to be told, that kind of thing. And then finally there's profit.
Oh, yeah.
Which is very important. You have to have profit because, it's not arts for art's sake.
Of course.
It's also not commerce for commerce's sake because then there are other things you could do.
Of course.
But there is this matter of profit and profit not just in monetary terms but also in, create value for all stakeholders.
Yes, absolutely.
Create value for our patron, create value for the team that works, all of us, all our creative partners, all our platform partners and our audiences. If everyone in this food chain is happy, then we are happy.
Then you're happy.
Then we are happy. Actually, the most important thing for us is our platform partners. True. Because, in a way, we are creating content which comes onto their platform, which goes onto their audiences.
He told me he's not prepared at all for this interview, but look at him.
No, I was thinking about it.
This is so lovely.
Because I was just this morning, I was speaking to someone. Our show, The Hunt, has done really well.
Yeah, congratulations.
And that turned out really well. And that combination.
I really liked it, right?
Yeah.
I liked it so much.
You were the first one to call me, actually.
Yes,
I remember that.
It was so good. And I think that being a Tamilian myself, I was able to navigate 2 languages with such ease.
Right.
But for people who didn't speak Tamil also, I think they have loved it because it was just such a fun show to watch. So.
I know, and actually it worked out really well because a lot of people talk about this, that, everything's got to be in Hindi or everything's got to be Massey or mainstream. But the fact is that audiences have grown up, they have matured, they become so much smarter. And most people you called me, you understand Tamil.
Yes.
But so many people have called us who don't speak a word of Tamil.
And
right?
they
just sort of comprehend the show quite simply, because that's the way it is. So and it's done well, and it's done well for Sony Live, and that makes us really happy. Black Warrant is done really well for Netflix, makes us really happy.
Yes.
Criminal Justice is done really well on Jio Hotstar, that makes us happy.
And
so as long as they are happy, we are happy.
Yes, absolutely. No, and this was a question that was going to come later, but since we have this amazing time to masterclass with you today, I'm going to put this in right now. How do you actually turn around and say which story befits which platform? And do you do something differently for a different pitch for a different platform? I'm so curious.
No, actually, for us, it doesn't start off from a story for a platform.
Okay.
It's always story for an audience.
Yes.
And then story for an audience is really whenever anyone pitches a story to us, or we decide to do something like The Hunt or Scam, if we buy the book first and then move forward.
Correct.
there are really four principles, that any story to be told is why this, why now, for whom, at what scale, right? So those are the four things we must answer for ourselves. So why should we tell this story? Why should we tell this story now? For whom are we telling this? And at what scale are we going to do this?
Correct.
Is it going to be big? Is it going to be small? And we do different kinds.
Correct.
So we do some things that are really sort of, quite flashy and big, some things which are quite hardworking and this thing, and inner language, maybe more urban, maybe more heartland. We do all kinds of things. So in all of this, the important thing is that we try and answer those questions. We try and get the best talent onto it.
Yes.
As in internally, of course, we've got a great team.
Correct.
But from that great team, then we funnel out and talk to other creators. So there are directors, there are writers, there are people. And then we do all of that and then put it all together and then make it and then show it to a platform. And we show it to different platforms. We don't have, I think everything can go to everyone. There's no such thing like that because essentially everyone's talking to the same audience.
True.
You're talking to a large Indian audience and then you're talking to a large Indian diaspora and then you're talking to a global audience.
Correct.
So, I mean, in that sense, like currently in India, the biggest platform is Jio Hotstar. True. Right? So ideally, everything should go to everyone and it should work for everyone. Individual platforms have their preferences because they may have different schedules, they may have their own programming calendar.
Yes.
They have, they might be doing something similar. So I mean, those things are, things that come in the, in the mix.
True.
But honestly, after we make something with a lot of heart and a lot of hard work, we show it to someone, they got to like it.
True that.
They must like it. And if they like it, then everything happens.
Yeah, I'm so fascinated because the four tenets that you said you have to answer for yourself, let's try and put that to the test with the latest show, which is Hunt, right? How did it answer those questions for you?
So one is that I am a big fan of contemporary history.
Yes.
I think every time we tell stories, a lot of stories become historical or mythological. True. Whereas contemporary history is the history of our times. It's a history that we've grown up with.
Yes.
Right? And different ages.
True.
So like for a lot of people, they might have been kids when that happened.
Yes.
They might have been a little older when it happened. Or they might have been, really aware of it. Either way, I think we don't do enough contemporary history. So we've been doing a lot of that. Right?
Scam.
We did Scam. Yeah. That was contemporary history. Hunt is contemporary history. Black Warrant is contemporary history. There's a lot of that. Yes. So I think it's good stories to tell. So therefore, why this? Always, you must tell contemporary history. We got to know, they say that in order to know your future, you must know your past. Right? And in order to understand what's going around you, you must know what has happened.
Correct.
That's what we try and do. Why now? Always. I think this why now is going to go on for some time now. For whom? For everyone. Because it's part of your life, part of your history. And at what scale is also then tempered with in what style?
100%.
How do you do it? What do we do?
Correct.
So, see, I am a populist entertainer, right?
Yes.
So, while I read a lot and I am all quite intellectual and all that, but honestly, I am very populist.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I like good storytelling. I like storytelling that will make you laugh, that will make you cry, that will surprise you, shock you, delight you.
Everything is that line right there.
All of that.
Risk hai to ishq hai.
तो मेरे life में बहुत risk है, बहुत इश्क है, और वो चलते रहता है. So I think storytelling should be fun.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it's not a classroom you're going to.
So
it's not a moment of academia.
Yeah.
I'm not pontificating. The aim is not to sort of, give you gyan.
100%.
That's why we say that we are not telling you what to think. We are just saying something and we hope it will make you think.
Yes.
Right?
And I think all applause shows do that for me because for me, you are your own genre. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to do this interview, because before I do an interview, I also have to answer my own question, which is why do I want to do this interview?
Yeah.
And I need to get that answer. So for me, it is applause is its own genre, even though you can't really tell all of the shows, they're all different shows, but they fall into the same sort of, I don't know how to put it. I wish I had a better word. But there is a sense of unison, even though all of the shows are very different. And the unifying factor is that they're good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm going to go through some of my favorite shows that you've made. And you're going to tell me what was the glimmer, the hook, or the spark that made you say, this must be done. Let's start with Scam. Scam 1992.
Scam 1992, actually it had to be done. Actually, I had told Deepak Sehgal, my colleague, about this in 2012.
Wow.
That, we have to make this. In fact, I took one excerpt out of Wikipedia of the Harshad Mehta story. I made yellow highlights and I sent it to him and I said, read this story and blah, blah, in 2012. Then, of course, nothing could happen. We couldn't do it because at that time it was all TV and stuff. 2-3 years went by. Then I went to Balaji. Then I was at Balaji. And then we helped launch Alt and did all of that. And then we set up Applause. We set up Applause. And then I was rummaging through my papers and I found this printout of this thing. And then I sent it to Deepak again. And I said, ki, ye to banana hi chahiye. And then conveniently Sharik Patel came and met me. And Sharik actually is so funny. Sharik, when he came to meet me, he came to, like he said, I want to pitch a show and I want to do something and all that. And our conversation was very odd because I was in this Andheri office of ours at the time. And I said, where do you stay? So he said, I live in Parel. I said, oh, very good. Sucheta lives nearby. So ek kaam karo, you go meet her and let's make scam. So if he had told me he lived in Goregaon, God knows what I had told him. So, but thank God that he lived in Parel.
I love it. The happy coincidence.
But the idea was that we must tell this story. It's a terrific story and it's got to be told and it's not been done. Right? And so that's how it came. That was the spark. And then we got the book. We read the book. We bought the book and I had signed up Hansal actually. Just signed him up as a director, but there was nothing attached.
Project,
And then the first time after we signed up, he came to meet us. And I told him, I said, Acha, listen, we bought the rights to the book Scam. And he said, I have to do it. I said, why? Why? He said, because when I was growing up, people always confused me with Hansal and Harshad. So, wherever I went, it was Harshad Mehta. And then they said, Hansal Mehta. I said, this is proving to be quite fortunate, all these incidents.
This is happy coincidences.
So, in that way, and it took us 3 years. Scam was one of the first things that we decided to do at Applause. And by the time the show came out, it was 2020. So 3 years later.
And what timing.
But it did really well.
But when it came out, I can never forget, and you say this with a pinch of salt, where you say the best thing that happened to us in the pandemic was this show. Because it just made us feel we had something to do that made our minds engage. Because you said it's recent history, we knew that we've lived this somewhere. Our parents talked about it. Some people's money got stuck. Some people actually got scammed. It was so close to home. And I remember the pandemic was, lighter because of those few episodes. So thank you for that. This is one of your most underrated shows in your slate, but it's one of my favorites, which is Undekhi.
My favorite show.
It is your favorite show?
My favorite show.
Oh my God. I love that show. It's so good. And I think just bringing Harshaya back for us who watched him, while we were growing up on TV, on ZTV, remember?
Yeah, of course.
Was so amazing. I think you extracted an amazing performance out of that role for him. What made you say you wanted to do Undekhi?
Actually, Undekhi is such a funny story. When it first came to us, from Sid Sengupta, who was the original creator. And they had actually come to us with a newspaper article. So the newspaper article was one little piece of information that said that there was some shadi happening in North India, and there was a Sangeet party or whatever, and there are these dancer girls, and then the bridegroom's father shoots the girl, and then that is, see the plight of whatever it is. So that was the story. So when it started out, then they came, they met us, we liked it, and we worked with Sid and Jyoti from before, from TV. So we know them. And it was a smaller show. It was always, it was not one of the fancier ones. It was a cool story to tell. He was quite clear in his head what he thought he was doing. So we started writing it. And then somehow it sort of, hit suddenly we hit still waters because it became some sort of a chase in a jungle. And then we weren't able to get past that. So then we stopped and paused and then again started working on it. And then sort of fleshing out these characters. So as we were fleshing it out, the key thing that happened with that is because at that time we didn't know who any of these people were. We hadn't cast them.
Correct.
Right? We were just writing it. But towards the end of the writing, as it came towards the end, this matter came up that how should this show end? Right? Like how will this show end? And the broader consensus in the room was that there should be a sense of justice. Right? And I felt at the time that, this character is written so well, this Papaji and this Rinku Paji, they're such wonderful people. I don't think they can go to jail. So what we are going to need to do is to kill the innocent hero. Right? So which is what we proceed to do. Right? And so in a way, Undekhi is our Sopranos. Right? It's a bunch of, thoda off-kilter people who are obviously breaking the law, but they're also grey and good in their own way.
Way,
They have
yeah.
their own sort of moral code and moral
Yeah.
ethics
That they
and
live by.
that they live by.
Correct.
And this Rinku Paji is deeply devoted to Papaji. That's a weird relationship
Yeah.
that those two have.
Yeah.
And then it's built from there. Now we are currently working on season 4.
Yes.
And we'll start filming because as it progresses, and we are building this world and this universe and everything. And and again, it's a terrific story because it takes, like they say that every morning if you get up and read the newspaper, nobody reads newspapers anymore. It's really sad. But if you do read the newspaper every morning,
you're going to find your next show.
There is a series in the newspaper every day.
So
my colleague Steve Askew used to tell me that,
Yeah.
all you got to do is read the paper. You'll find the next show.
Absolutely.
But then after you find the next show, you got to spend a lot of time writing it and working on it and doing all of that.
Absolutely. Madhav Mishra, I think, is one of my favorite characters. And I think Pankaj Tripathi, the exciting thing about Pankaj is that there was a time when the world discovered him. And by that time, everybody wanted a piece of him. I think criminal justice is one of those roles he really enjoys. He absolutely loves promoting this show. He's told me himself because he loves this character. Were you also excited about doing a show with Pankaj Tripathi, or was it the story that then lent itself to having him as a protagonist? Talk to us about that relationship between him and your show.
See, when we first started out to do criminal justice, the BBC had approached us. They had a plan or a package. They had pitched it around somewhere. No one wanted to do it at the time. Applause was just starting again, one of our first few shows. And Milita had showed me the deck. I said, okay, damn good. I'd seen Night Off.
Yeah.
So that's like the HBO show, not the British one. And so I said, brilliant, we must do this. So we got into it and started the writing and that process, and then moved to casting. This being season 1, and at that time, the focus of the show actually is the accused.
Yes.
Whom we cast, Vikrant Massey. He loved the show, so he always wanted to do it. He said, sir, I want to do this night off. So there was much excitement. So he was locked first. We needed the big bad person in jail, so we picked Jackie. And we wanted this lawyer. And the lawyer originally, in both the original versions, is an eccentric, down on his luck kind of lawyer who's got eczema and scratching and pata nahi kuch to ho raha hai. But both those characters were thoda, what shall we say, embittered.
Yeah.
They are embittered.
Yeah.
They are. So, any case, now we've written the show. We are all set to go. We get the Igmanshu to do the first 2 eps and Vishal Furia to do that. And all set, BBC asked everyone, deeply involved, go.
Yeah.
And Pankaj Tripathi arrives. Now, what Pankaj brought to this show from the first season is he brought a sense of mischief.
Yes.
Right? So he made that one change. Right? So when we made the show, he was different. Everything else is exactly the same. Right? Obviously, we've done the Indian adaptation, but the lawyer was not exactly embittered. Yeah. He was not morose. He had all the same quirks and eccentricities. Yes. He was pretty low on the food chain. But he had that sense of mischief and that sense of delivering dialogues in a particular way. And once we put it all together and the show released, what we found is that we had actually found our franchise.
So right? True.
So the Americans never did season 2. Yeah. The Brits did season 2 with a different story and a different set of characters. Yeah. And we took that story and took Madhav Mishra forward.
Exactly.
We took Madhav Mishra forward. So that was our original creation. In that season 2, Apurva Asrani was the writer, and he is the one who invented the wife. So he invented this Ratna from Patna, because we wanted to know how we're going to start this second season. Yes. Like, how do we start it? Yes. So we started with, as always, the crime, and then it moves on to this inspector calls up Madhav Mishra saying, Madhav, kidhar hai? And then you suddenly see Madhav sitting in with his wife in a ghungat and all that situation, and then he ditches on and comes running to Bombay.
Correct.
Then from season 2 onward, Pankaj is really built on this, and we have.
Absolutely.
So by the time we got to season 4, which is the latest one that released and has done so well, we are essentially, it's like saying, Amitabh Bachchan in and as Don.
Absolutely.
So this is Pankaj Tripathi in and as, in and as Madhav Mishra. So this is his world. We write for it. We build everything around it. And each time we have an individual crime, individual case, individual this, and the surround cast that work with him. Because, Pankaj is a great actor and he works better with better actors. So if you have like the last season has got a real collection of stars around him. And then he is, grandstanding and doing his thing. So I think in large part, Pankaj Tripathi has created the
Madhav Mishra
criminal justice that we
franchise that we know.
and we have actively supported and built on that. We think this is a franchise that must be protected and kept.
It's
I
very
have,
dear
in
to
fact,
him.
I remember after season 1 or 2, the marketing team, they made these little standees and all that. So when season 2 became a big hit, they gave me a little thing. It's there in my office. It says, "Better call Mishra." No? So it's there, and it was always a sort of
A hat tip
thing
to Better Call Saul,
solve.
of course.
And so we've done 4, and we are still better calling Mishra.
And Better Calling Mishra and the season 5, inshallah. Oh my God, of course we're talking to you. And I'm talking in the time that Kyunki is making this comeback.
Oh yes, of course.
How emotional
What
is it
fun.
for you?
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Of course.
I think it's a good thing. I think whenever brands are created, whenever franchises are created, I mean, I think sometimes in India we sort of beat ourselves up more than anything else. Look at the Americans; they are rebooting Batman like from ever. We've got a new
been 40
Superman
years.
out. Like a new Superman. You're almost thinking, okay, what's new? He says he's got a dog. So, what excitement! So we go and see that. But in India, if you do the same thing, people say, "Yaar, originality nahi hai. Yaar, वही same घिसा पिटा कर रहे हैं." It's like,
but hello, Tulsi Barani is our Superman.
no, and we have created so much content.
Yeah.
We have done so many great things. And if we are building on those franchises, if we are rebooting things, if we are adapting, anyway, people talk about adaptations, right? I hear this so often. Oh, why can't you do original? First of all, there's nothing original under the sun. And adaptations, you often do adaptations because they are stories that must be retold.
100%.
That's why they must
Every
be retold
generation deserves it.
every generation deserves it. Every different language deserves it. That's why you tell it.
Correct.
And everyone does it. I mean, Vishal Bhagwat has done a whole series of movies paying homage to Shakespeare. So how is that original?
Yeah.
No, it's not, right? When Martin Scorsese got his only Oscar for doing Departed, which is Infernal Affairs. It's a Hong Kong film, right? So I mean, that I find silly.
Yes,
this
absolutely.
thing. And I think I'm very happy. I'm really happy for Kyunki too. I'm very happy for all these things that happen. And I hope they do well.
I hope they do well too. I'm very excited because again, we grew up on that. There are 2 things that are the buzzwords, and I don't know how applause is, grappling with it or already doing something. I don't know. One is vertical storytelling, and the second is AI. So because I think Mahabharata releasing or the announcement has gotten people so excited, where do you see yourself in respect to these 2, I wouldn't say genres, but in these 2 technologies?
See, vertical storytelling is storytelling, right? It just happens to be a vertical format because, all the social media that Instagram, primarily Instagram and TikTok, is vertical.
Yeah.
And because YouTube, you still twist your phone, so that's okay. So it's not such a big deal. Vertical just requires a different framing of, how you frame it. Because typical horizontal storytelling allows you and me to sit. Right?
Yes.
Vertical
like
requires
this,
to be closer. That's all. But that being said, it's a form of storytelling. The new fad that has come is just microdramas, which is these 90-second episodes.
Yes.
Which is actually, when you think about it, it's a 90-second scene, and it's a collection of scenes telling a story. So it's the same thing. So I suppose, oftentimes, the one mistake I find that people make with regard to, when you say making content for this medium or that medium or this device or that device, is that you're bringing this fine distinction or making this equation of price to medium, right? You're saying, since this is a vertical drama, make it cheap, right? That is something that I've always disagreed with in my life, right? I don't think you should not ever make content cheap, right? Because you are actually then disrespecting your viewer, right? It's because if you say that I'm going to make it cheap, that means I'm saying that you're a cheap person. So I'm making it cheap. What I got to do, you don't deserve more, right? What I got to do is I got to make great content. So even if I'm making a vertical drama, I got to make a great vertical drama. I got to make something that will make you watch it and make the richest person in India watch it and the poorest person in India watch it. That's what content should do. Content should unify. Right? So every time when we say, oh, we're making this content for this. See, if you look at the old days, how did movies work? You go to a theater, you have lower stalls, upper stalls, balcony, dress circle, and box. Right? That means all socioeconomic groups sit in the same place. The hall is darkened, and then everyone watches the same movie. Right? And it is the same Amitabh Bachchan for the poorest man and the richest man. Right? It's the same Shah Rukh Khan for the poorest man and the richest man. It's the same IPL for the poorest man and the richest man. Imagine if we tell all the poor people, since you are poor, we'll show you the Dadar IPL. We won't show you the main IPL. That'd be dumb, right? So I think in any of these, actually, the distinction of make it cheap and, we are going for a mass market, so the cost should be lower. I think the mass market should be given an even higher quality so that we uplift the mass as compared to downgrade the mass.
True.
You know, but not everyone agrees with me. So it's
Are you dabbling with micro dramas or AI?
not really on AI. See, AI is a separate thing now. So AI, if this all this hullabaloo that's going on about AI, is that this is still early days. You know, this technology is growing and it's growing fast, and a lot of people are dabbling with it. I was recently speaking at one of these conferences, so they asked me that. So now, once this tech comes and it's available in everyone's hand, then what does that mean? Like, what does it? What's the? What dangers do we face? So honestly, I don't know. I don't think it means anything. First of all, if the technology comes along and if it's in everyone's hand, it's like saying that, there are paint brushes and paints available. Does that make everyone a painter? Does it make everyone an artist? It doesn't. Everyone's got a camera today. Does that make everyone a photographer? No. You still have your friend who can't take a proper selfie, right? No, there's people who you say take a photo and they'll take a bad photo. So everyone's got the phone. So I don't think AI in that sense is going to, change the world. What it is going to do, however, is that for the talented creators, it's going to become a very powerful tool. Right? So it is for people like us, the way we are looking at it is that, wow, this is brand new. And see, the industry, our audiovisual industry has always embraced technology. We have done special effects before special effects were invented, right? As a thing.
Thank you to the Ramses.
When you think, not really Ramses, when you look abroad, if you look at what is AI promising? AI is promising a variety of things. It's already been done in movies.
True.
Tom Cruise made Minority Report. James Cameron they already made Terminator. It's been done, right? He made Star Wars. We've already been to the edge of the black hole in Interstellar, right? We're waiting for science to catch up, actually.
Absolutely.
So honestly, AI has got a lot. Science fiction is doing well. I think the science needs to catch up now.
Yes. We're also sitting at a very unique time. I feel like I don't know how to say it, but जब किसी का अच्छा चल रहा होता है ना, इसका मतलब है कि किसी और का उतना अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है, because I feel like sometimes the market works that way. And randomly, the last 8 years that Applause has been making these great shows and we've been lapping it up, I think our film industry has been going through a crisis at the box office. I think the pandemic changed a lot, but I don't see you stepping into that zone as yet. So, will Applause make movies?
Oh yes, of course we will. In fact,
you already made them.
We've made a few small movies. We made them during COVID and after we made a few smaller movies. But we are really big on the movie business. I am personally big on it.
But if you had to release a film in the theatre today, what would be your considerations?
So, see, I'll tell you what's happened really with the film industry and why this little thing is. One is that COVID was a bit of a dampener because then all the theatres shut. So then they had to reopen, and that whole process, taking that 2-3 years of, getting back to this thing. At that time, in a way, the entire industry got refinanced by the streaming business because everyone bought the movies directly to streaming.
Correct.
And so it lived to, live to
where
fight another day, basically. But since that has changed, and since what's really happened is that the quality of audience has improved, right? Because they've seen so much streaming, they've seen so many other shows, international, domestic, all of that. The kind of stuff we're making on streaming is quite good.
Look what he did.
Right? So in that sense, the quality of the audience has improved. So I think as filmmakers, what it does is that if you're making a movie, you've got to make better movies. Like in anything else that we do, there's nothing so unique. I mean, even if you're making, they say, if you're making a dumb comedy, make a really dumb comedy.
Correct.
Don't stop short. So I think the only thing, when we are approaching this is we want to make movies for theatre. I think it should be done. The challenges that the theatrical business faces are often of our own making.
So true.
Right?
Yes.
Many times.
100%.
Like unwittingly, the arrival of the multiplex kept the entire mass audience out. Right? So the same fans who hang around outside Galaxy and Mannat can't afford the ticket to the multiplex. Right? So they're the ones tattooing their chest and threatening to emulate themselves and all, but they can't actually see the movie because it's too expensive.
Correct.
So there are these small things. The number of theatre screens in India have gone down.
So
we used to be at 15,000, now we are 9. Right? We need more theatres. This thing about whatever releases will go onto the platform immediately is, it's like, what's to happen? So there are a lot of moving parts. So I think, but I don't think movies are dead. Because people are still going to think Saiyaara now, right? That was the last one that happened.
Hit,
Saiyaara is actually also very, I'm particularly pleased about Saiyaara because the lead girl in that is also the lead of our show in the one that Nitya Mehra has done. So we're super excited about that.
Absolutely.
So it's not come out yet. So we are quite pleased.
Yeah. But speaking of fun announcements, congratulations. Gandhi, and finally we can talk about Gandhi, has gotten selected to be shown at TIFF for the very first time.
So that's our,
My God.
we are super excited about that
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
been some time in the making.
yeah.
And then sometime around, I think, April, we thought that, it's going to be ready by August. So where do we show it for the first time? We wanted to showcase it somewhere.
And TIFF is in September, so the
TIFF
timing
is
is
in
great.
September.
Yeah.
So then we applied, and TIFF usually doesn't do series.
That's what I was
it's
wondering.
a film festival.
Yes.
So we were like, obviously fingers crossed, toes crossed, and waiting. But we got selected, and it's the first time that an Indian series is going to be showcased at TIFF. So we are like pretty excited about that. And so while of course it's an eclectic crowd and all of that, but still it's a nice place for us to show the world what we've done. Because we've also got a very unique take on this whole subject. We got Ram's books, Ramchandra Guha's books, and then Hansal, and then Pratik, and now A.R. Rahman has done the music. So it's like a nice, very nice sort of
an amazing
thing
ensemble.
come together. And again, we spent a lot of time working very hard on this. And so season 1 is really it's the first part of Gandhi's life.
Yes.
And it's a story you've not seen. So everybody knows, again, it's part of history.
Yes,
so and I think it's important history should be told. And again, I think one thing you've seen about all the work we do is that we are big on going really close to people.
So true.
Right? So for us, big historic characters are not big historic characters. They are humans like you and me.
It's a Bildungsroman,
so
really.
It's very tight. So for us, season 1 of Gandhi is a young adult drama. It's an 18-year-old boy going to London and his life from there. So it's like every 18-year-old. If you're going abroad to study, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
right?
because I think with mythical figures and like big historical figures like Gandhi, you forget that they were 18 once.
Yeah.
You've never imagined them to be 18. And that would have been so fun to just even think about that, right?
No, and also then when you tell the story in that context, it's also very inspiring for all young people.
Yes,
that,
absolutely. This boy went ahead to do this.
He went ahead to do this.
Yes,
and that too, that's not even a straightforward life, because his life is a series of, events and incidents that happened, any one of which could have taken it in a different direction.
Correct.
So then you also get to see, all sorts of simple things about how young, we talk so much about young people and depression and struggle and, dealing with all that. This has happened 150 years ago. Same thing, identical. So it just goes to show you that, life is not so different.
Absolutely. And he's one of us. And I think that also forms the core of your storytelling, which is authentically Indian stories, told for an Indian audience today. So I think
and
that's
ideally
important.
Taken out to the world, because how we watch authentically told foreign stories, I think the world can watch authentically told Indian stories.
We watch it all the time.
We watch it.
Adolescents, 4 episodes, people went nuts.
I mean, the way people went crazy about Narcos, I was thinking, bro, you don't do drugs, you don't know the Colombians, you know nothing. Why are you so excited?
So true.
We should be excited about our criminals if we have to then.
That's true. I remember one of the sweetest things that if you happen to know Samir is that he sends you a little lovely hamper at the end of the year, and it's a Christmas gift. But here's what it is in that gift. It's these beautifully chosen, selected or curated books that you pick from the ones you read in the year and you wish that we read them.
Right.
I read them definitely because I want to know which one of these is going to be a series next. So that's why it's very exciting for me. But I believe that this love of acquiring books and rights has now led you to acquiring one of our favorite authors of all time, and that's Jeffrey Archer.
See, Archer, now we spent so much time trying to do this. So the first time when this matter came up and we heard about it, and so we moved really fast and said that we want to do it. I've read all of Archer's books. I think everyone has. So it's not even such a big, unique position to have. Like Archer is probably in India one of the most popular foreign authors.
Absolutely.
There would be a few others, but I think Archer is
top of the list.
Top of the list.
And you know what tells you that a foreign author is popular? When you go on the streets of Churchgate or Matonga Circle and you see the guys selling the books on the road, and there you have all of the Jeffrey Archers. That's where you pick it up from, like when you're growing up.
So we are super excited about that. We really wanted to do that. We were trying to structure the deal. It's a complicated thing because Archer is so popular that his books are also sold everywhere in the world, and then different people are doing it. So what we've done is that we've taken a sort of a position on 6 books and with sort of holdbacks on others and things. That's basically on the catalog. And we want to adapt these into either series or movies in India, in Indian languages. and we're going to get cracking now. So actually, I'm so happy now that the word is out.
Word is out, yes.
That we've put this information out too.
Yes.
The way I want to do this is put it out to all the directors and creators out there and say that, guys, this is the books, this is the material. Everyone knows it, everyone loves it. So now let's hear different takes, different adaptations, and let's see who does what.
Wow.
So I think it'll be fun to do. I think Archer has a very he's a very clever storyteller.
Absolutely.
And he tells quite a nice tale. And he's also big on this whole saga thing. So even though they were small airport books that you read on a flight, but the thing is that it's a lifetime on a flight.
World building, as they call it.
World building, terrific world building, and all sorts of worlds. And I think they also lend themselves very well to be rebooted for a modern day.
Gandhi's coming up. What else comes up for you in the next year?
Exciting things, the exciting ones that are going on in our lives that we are quite kicked about is that we're working with Kabir Khan.
Yeah.
So we're going to do 2 movies with him. We're doing Imtiaz Ali's next movie. So we're very excited about that. We've got this documentary that we've been working on, Salman. We called it Beyond the Stars, Salman Khan. It's really good. I mean, I now know more about Salman Khan than anyone else.
Oh, lovely.
Right? Because we've seen it so many times, these cuts and all. So that's really exciting. It's a really great, well put together sort of documentary on Salman. And he's quite the amazing character. Actually, I didn't know much about him, So we've got stuff coming. We've got Nitya's show coming up, which has got Aneet in it. So that's like really good. I don't know. Our big Tamil movie releases, that's our big one.
Okay.
So this is the one we've done with Ranjit and directed by Mari Selvaraj. It's called Bison.
Yeah.
So that comes out in Diwali. So
wow.
That's going to be really big. That's really, really cool.
And you and animals in the background, whether it's the bull or the bison, I'm sure that luck still stays.
I hope so.
Guys.
That's good.
That's
so that's a good fun one to do. There's a lot more. We are building on this movie catalog of ours. So we want to build a big pipeline of movies for theatrical.
This is the question I came for, and you're giving it to me.
That's what we're doing, and we are building this sort of thing because I think the next phase for Applause is to now, we've done a lot of work in the series. We'll continue to do that. We've got a lot of subsequences. We've got subsequent season of Scam, of Black Warrant, Undekhi, Tanav. There are many of those. Criminal Justice, I hope, all of that. But I think movies is a thing that we wanted to do. Mr. Birla is really keen on doing it. We are all aligned. I think between Mr. Birla, Ananya, us, it's going to be a pretty concerted effort to get this done now. And we are meeting a lot of very interesting people. A lot of interesting directors, a lot of interesting stories in Hindi, in Tamil, in Malayalam.
How lovely.
It's really exciting. So, I mean, this is like, for me, it's really dream come true now. I wanted to set up a studio. So, studio can't make only series. You must make films. Movies, so, we're going to do that. So, it'll be fun.
How lovely. Samir, it's such a pleasure to sit down with you because you are one of my favorite people to interview.
Thank you.
Because when I come to interview you, you're not just interviewing, you're also giving us insights and you're so giving with, your process. And that's what I enjoy most about talking to you.
Thank you so much. You make for a wonderful interviewer.
Thank you.
So you get me talking and then I'm always worried. My team is always concerned about this. They say, what are you going to say?
You're going to say everything. No, I just think we both, we can do this so effortlessly because we both here because we love the movies. So thank you so much for your time and congratulations once again with Applause.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Samir Nair and I'm on Just Do Filming.